Bravo, Sujay.
2022 Quarry Lane valedictorian. To you, Sujay.
Can we adjust this? Yeah, but 51 score days ago, a gray Toyota Prius pulled into Quarry Lane's lower school parking lot. In the front seat sat my mom, desperately trying to find room L18 on the school map she had on her iPhone. And in the back seat sat me, begging her to drive me back home. I was scared. I was scared of all the new faces on my first day of school, scared of all the new classes, scared of the new teachers and the new surroundings. A couple months ago, I was notified that the seniors were going to ditch school on March 29th, and initially I planned to as well. But when I woke up in the morning at 8 o'clock, I asked my mom to drive me to school anyway. It wasn't because I had a test coming up or had an important assignment due, but simply because I wanted to be in school. I wanted to see those faces and walk those hallways that had once frightened me. And at that moment, I realized how much these walls had changed me. First, I feared them. Then I got used to them. And eventually, I've grown to love them. And in these last 2 months of my senior year, I've realized how much I will miss Quarry. During the first 6 months here, many of the social anxieties I had as a kid came roaring back into my life. I began stuttering and tripping over certain words, avoided eye contact with classmates, and worst of all, when called on in class, underwent a vertical shrink, sinking lower and lower and lower into my seat until all that was visible was the top of my hair. Now, as most of my classmates and teachers can attest to, I undergo a vertical stretch in such situations, exploding out of my seat, raising my hand all the time, and more often than not raising my hand to speak in class. And far from stuttering, my voice now echoes, no, that's the wrong word, reverberates through every hallway. All the way to the point that I'm standing up here speaking to all of you on our last day together. Sometimes it's the very people who no one imagines anything of who do the things that no one can imagine. There are so many people that I can thank for this transformation, for turning my life from one filled with fear and insecurity to one filled with freedom and happiness. My teachers, the ones who waged war on my tests with red ink and ox and show your work, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. But always looked out for me and had my back even when I didn't know it. The ones who motivated me to stay after class and solve problems on the board, even going into the time of the next class and the next class. And yes, even the one who motivated me to sit one day on a Tuesday night and consume 10 orders of McDonald's small fries in one sitting. And yes, I finished all 10. The school administration, who helped me and my family through health and personal troubles, and my wonderful counselor, who guided me through the daunting college admissions process. To all of you, my fellow graduating seniors, the ones who indulge my random tangents, roll their eyes at my jokes, and give me the notes when I decide to watch tennis during class. And most of all, my family, my two pillars of support. My dad, who wakes me up every day on time, pours my milk, still, reminds me when to go to sleep, and is there for me through everything. And to the most special person of all, my Amma, who drove me more than 2,000 hours to school, 2,000 times back from school, another 500 times for all the lunch boxes, binders, assignments, projects, and posters I forgot at home. And 100 more times for the times that I just felt alone and told the office I was sick so I could go home and just be with her, just the two of us. I want to thank her for explaining to me what a potential difference was, why I had to add a plus C to the end of my integrals, and for reading every short story and every book I ever read in English class, for dancing with me in the living room after my admission to Caltech, and throughout my life, wiping away my tears and making me smile. Because of you, I am the luckiest person on the face of the earth. Thank you. And to you all, my dear friends, the graduating class of 2022. If there's one thing I've learned in the last 3 years, it's that conformity is the quickest path to mediocrity. To achieve extraordinary things, we must first begin by thinking extraordinarily. We all came to this school from different backgrounds and different cultures, and this school fostered an environment where the creative expression of ideas with conviction, but also with respect, led to the creation of knowledge and set each one of us on a different path. Now we must take our different approaches and perspectives into the world, test them against many others, refine them, and ultimately use them towards the ultimate goal of benefiting society. The clash of ideas and personalities in the context of a shared calling permits us to achieve the best kind of success there is. Graduating today is not a reward for a job well done. It is the first step in a much more difficult and much more rewarding journey. And the advice that I have for that journey is this: do things your way. Don't do something only because someone told you to do it. Do it because you know it must be done. Don't say something just because someone wants to hear it. Say it because it's your truth and you need to speak it. That independence, that drive is what we built during our time here. And never let that die. Never say good enough. Never let that commitment to excellence fade. And sometimes when you're walking along that path that you've forged to reach your dreams, you may feel alone. Like you're walking down a dark street in the middle of the night with no friend to comfort you, no street lamp to light your way. And at that time, those voices inside your head will tell you that it's time to stop. It's time to turn around, and it's time to join the crowd. But remember, the person who follows the crowd will usually go no further than the crowd. The person who walks alone is likely to find themselves in places no one else has ever seen or imagined. Resist that temptation to be mediocre. Remember, you are on the path less traveled by, and that will make all the difference. Thank you. All right, seniors. 3. Okay. Take your time. All right. Everyone ready? Okay, don't hit anyone. 3, 2, 1, carpe diem. Please be upstanding, and I will go find my